Delos, at the, you're at the walls of the High Hall. Um, uh, outside of the, outside of the walls, what would you like to do? You can see that the where the meteor fell, the whole western side of the towers and the walls are rubble. The gate's been smashed through, so there's a big opening into the courtyard of the high halls there, by where your token is, and here on the western part of the city, it's a little quieter actually than the eastern part. There's not as much of the screaming and stuff going on, although it's not totally absent. It seems a little quieter over on the western portion of El Terrell at the moment. Besides the the bit of the blaze you can still hear from the meteor falling, and some of the other structures around the high hall still on fire from the journey. What would you like to do while you've made it here to the outer portions of the high halls? Oh, maybe he's not back yet. That's my bad. All right, you guys on the bridge. You see now. Shit. You guys see the devils have turned and see you fleeing across. There's 40 more feet to go. You guys are dashing, but you see that the devils have turned and upon the illusion dissipating, have turned to go back to their positions and see you fleeing across the bridge. What would you like to do?
And Krayley, stop. I want to see if this will work. Stop and pull out one of those magic beans. And chuck it in their direction. And then try to cast Druid Craft on it to try to make the seed. Yeah.
All right.
See if that'll work. Druidcraft is 30 feet.
This could be pretty fun. What were those things called exactly?
I have them listed.
Bag of beans. Bag of beans. Yeah. I'm gonna move this up to the magic items. I don't know if you saw Mavathor, but I dropped a item card in the magic item folder for you for your shield. What can we learn from reading? Okay. You huck a bean, and as it's arcing through the air, it lands in the center of the bridge, and you do a bit of your magic. And Druidcraft on the that's a Haragon feature, right?
Druidcraft?
Yeah. Or is that from your cloak or something?
So Mold Earth is from the cloak. Druidcraft is from actually my arcane archer.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Path, so.
Well, this could maybe be the start of a tie-in to the Feywild for you a little bit.
Ah, yes. That's a good. I didn't even think about that.
Let me think for a second.
Okay. Excuse me. huck a bean? Yeah.
Okay. You use a little spark of magic, Krayley, and cast Druidcraft on the bean. And when it lands, there is there's an explosion of wild magic. And instantaneously breaking through the bridge and twining down all the way the 500 feet to the landscape of Avernus below, a massive beanstalk explodes, punching a hole in the bridge and connecting to the ground below. The beanstalk then continues to rise into the air and just keeps going as far as your eyes can see. And then you see make a perception check.
Okay.
Okay, as the rest of you are as the rest of you kind of see this spectacle of magic emerge, the beanstalk is wide enough, I think, maybe that it actually just breaks the bridge in two, leaving the devils on the other side. And but what you spot, Krayley, as the rest of you are sort of watching the beanstalk growing, is you see a little bit of motion. And you kind of see you see like here, let me actually, I think I have a I like it when unplanned things happen. Hold on. Sorry about this. I just gotta... Oh yeah. Wait, I have too much shit typed in.
I'm still wondering how a dragon is going to get involved.
I have that. I that's the only thing I had planned for this session, prepared, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. You see from off of the side of the bridge, this green-skinned fellow kind of come from around the corner of a house. And he's wearing these brown leathers, and he has a mossy cape, and his hair is all... it's almost kind of like... They look like knotted roots of a tree just growing out of the sides and back of his head. He has like a curved blade at his waist, and he kind of like steps out calmly as the beanstalk's growing, and you see him actually like look over at you and wink, and then he like spins this grappling hook and throws it towards the beanstalk, and it like grabs into the side of the beanstalk, and he kind of swings over and grabs the beanstalk, and you see him sort of like start to scramble up it. And then he comes around the other side and drops onto the other side of the bridge and begins to fight the devils. The gentleman that you saw looks like this.
Hey.
And as this gentleman engages in combat with the devils on the other side of the bridge, it leaves you free to continue fleeing in the opposite direction, as the beanstalk has totally separated the broken the bridge in two, separating you from the pack of devils that are now fighting this guy on the other side.
Graylee's a little confused. Why this individual appeared and winked, but he is not going to look a gift horse in the mouth and say, "I think that bought us enough time. Let's hurry up and get out of here." Start pushing people forward, I guess.
Dolos, you're still on the outer walls of the high halls. The gates have been smashed open, and you've made it there. You have no clue, really, still at this point, what the rest of the party is up to, but you're hunting for Captain Lightheart. What would you like to do?
Well, I know the bearded devils mentioned hunting parties meeting over here, so I think fellas sort of keeping an eye out for them and just
Okay.
sort of like sneaking around as best as he can, trying maybe getting to a vantage point, maybe one of the watch towers if he can get to the top of one.
Do you have any climbing gear?
No. He does have Dimension Door.
Oh, you have Dimension Door, yeah. You could also go...
500 feet.
To get into one of the towers, you could also go into the courtyard if you wanted to as well. But you could Dimension Door into one of them.
I think Delos would take the safer option, just Dimension Door.
Okay. You Dimension Door into the top of the tower nearest your token there. From up here, you can... you're now sort of in the highest vantage point of the city. You can see across the whole cityscape of El Terrell, all the burning buildings and everything. The main portion of the cathedral, is still across the courtyard. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. And does Dolos notice that there's a giant beanstalk?
You do notice the giant beanstalk growing up into the sky as well, yes. I wonder if I have anything for beanstalk. Nope. Sorry, what's your perception? 10? The courtyards seem empty. The high hall from here in the tower seems quiet. the towers are empty as well.
Okay.
It seems
So I think
eerily quiet.
Dola's just,
Yeah.
if he can make his way down, he just makes his way down into the cathedral. The one
Okay.
thing standing. Ironic, that didn't even save any of them, but you know.
You would have to descend the tower and how many times can you dimension door?
It's just the ones.
Okay. So you'd have to make your
It's
way
just with
down the
keyboard
tower.
not back.
You'd have to make your way down the tower into the courtyard to make your way into the high hall.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, if he doesn't see anybody, then he'll just rush down there.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
You got it.
Nice.
You begin to make your way across the courtyard to the steps of the cathedral. And you hear a growl from off to one side of you. And just in time you manage to duck down behind a little pile of rubble. And from kind of coming around the corner of the wall, this dark, leathery, dog-like creature comes around the corner, a little hellhound, and another one kind of comes in behind, and they both start like sniffing the ground.
Dolos just stays as quiet and as still as he possibly can.
They, one of them, you hear them sniffing closer and closer, and one of them gets to, like, just on the other side of, the little pile of rubble you're ducked behind, and, then it sort of turns, and, there's a, you hear, like, a little pile of rubble move or fall off in the other direction, and the two hounds snap and like charge off towards where they hear the sound. And you make your way the rest of the way to the steps of the cathedral itself. The rest of you are making your way down the towards the high hall now. The party with the three dwarves and Harkana and her children. She seems to have managed to keep her babies quiet as you guys made your way across the bridge and are now heading towards the high halls together as a group. You make your way and you kind of see the same thing that Dolos had seen. You see the wooden gates have been smashed open that lead into the cathedral grounds. You see the western side of the castle has been reduced to a pile of brick and wood. Dolos, you get to the steps. You know, you two are kind of moving in unison, you know, like Dolos doesn't freeze when you guys are moving and vice versa. So, Dolos, when you get to the steps of the high hall, and step inside. Sorry, I didn't necessarily expect you guys to get this far ahead this session.
Oh, sorry.
Here we go. At the top of the stairs, Dolos, leading up to the cathedral, there's a big archway that opens into a long hall. You see that contains 8 columns. One of these columns has been carved to represent the god Torm, but you can see that it's been defiled. The rest of the columns all represent the likeness of a winged female devil wielding a luminous sword. And,
I think
No, go ahead.
as Dolos is walking down this hallway, when he gets to the statue of Torm, he just spits at his feet and says, "Never liked you anyways."
The rest of you, outside of the walls of the high hall, you know, the closer and closer you get to the high halls, the buildings around you become more and more, you know, religious. Temples and things you pass by. On the western side of the city, like I said before, it's a bit quieter than the eastern side that's still filled with the screaming denizens trying to survive in their new environment. You know, fortunately, the battle going on below the city is staving off the infestation of the devils into El Terrell for the time being. But who knows how long that will last. As you are approaching the high halls from one of the temples nearby, you can actually hear some sobbing. And you hear a woman's voice saying, "Please, you don't have to do this." And you can hear like some chains rattling. And then you hear a male voice say, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I do." And then you hear this like piercing, horrible scream. And you guys are able to move into a position just in time to see like the final moments of this scream, and what you see is in this chapel, there's like red light spilling in to a temple. You can see pews that have been scattered about, and a stone dais at the end of a long hall, or not a hall, but kind of a long path of intricate stones that are patterned in arches. And then there's like a set of steps, and standing on top of the steps is a red scaled dragonborn. And he's sort of standing so you can see only one side of him. And you can tell that he's well muscled, tall. He's wearing dark plated armor. You see a big axe hanging from his back, and he's got a tattered green cape. You can see there are bodies lying still, littered around the floor of the church, and it was hard to spot at first in some of the red light spilling in from outside, but off to one side there's a, I don't know, 10-foot tall, black-furred minotaur. It's got a big sword on its back as well, but it's got these sets of chains kind of draped around its shoulders, and you can see hanging in various points on the chains these iron lanterns, and maybe half of them are filled with little baubles of glowing light. And Sylvie, you recognize these lanterns as the lanterns you saw sitting on the edges of the obsidian tower that you had in the scrying that was done of your sister. And when you hear this terrible scream, what you see is the Dragonborn holding a withered arm out. The one that's facing away, on the other side, facing away from you guys, that you can't see that side of their body. And when he says, "Oh, but I do," he places this withered hand over the priestess's face, and you see her essence ripped out of her body and float over into one of the lanterns. And then the Dragonborn turns and sort of surveys the other dead, and you hear the Dragonborn say to the Minotaur, "Come, Toragar. Let us find some more pure souls to fill our lanterns and get out of here." Just as the Dragonborn turns, you guys manage to kind of move out of the sight of him as the two of them begin to kind of walk towards the exit of the chapel. What would you guys like to do?
They're coming towards us?
Yeah.
Okay. Sylvie's just gonna poke out and start stabbing them.
You are?
Not that I want to do it, but it's definitely what Sylvie would do.
Nice.
Oh god, she's gonna kill herself. Yeah, she'll take out both of her daggers with Fang in her offhand.
Roll an initiative.
Okay.
Your first attack was a 27, and your second was a 21.
Nice.
You hop out as the Dragonborn steps out of the arch of the temple. And kind of before he's able to notice that you're there, you drive your first dagger in between two of the plates of armor of this fellow, and you drive your dagger all the way into to its hilt, and then he, with his powerful arm, sort of, as you're going for your other dagger, he grabs onto your wrist, and he pushes you back. And he says, "Oh, look, Torrigar. More souls. Maybe we won't have to do any searching after all." And he, maybe I'll drop you guys down on a map for this. Sorry, Dolos. We're gonna have a little roleplay session with the other half of the
It's
party.
combat. I get it. Go for it. I'm enjoying it.
Let me move you guys for this, just so, because we'll see what happens here.
My.
Dragonborns count as dragons.
Took me a second to register what you said.
Well, I'll make a athletics. Make a instead of just attacking you outright, the Dragonborn just slaps you away, Sylvie, and he sniffs at the air a few times, and he says, "Oh, disappointing. There's only a few among this little band that has a pure soul. We'll start with the bunny." And he, like, turns towards Krayley. He kind of starts to step towards you with his withered hand outstretched. What do you do?
What? Nothing wrong. So Krayley will probably use his reaction to use bunny hop, or what is it called? Rabbit hop, to jump back 10 feet or up to 15 feet. Sorry, without provoking opportunity of attack.
You hop away as he goes and extends his hand, his withered hand out towards you, and he says, "Oh, a little spring in your step. That's quaint." He kind of looks you all over. He says, "I feel your hatred, little girl. It tingles in my spine. Why would you want to kill me?"
Those souls aren't yours.
He looks over at the Minotaur, and you see this sort of reptilian grin creep across his face, and the Minotaur lifts one side of the chains draped over his shoulders, and he jangles the lanterns, kind of jangling with the souls lit up in them. And he turns back to you and he says, "They look like mine."
Sylvie's getting riled up.
He says, "I can hear the screams of the pure on the eastern side of the city. There's no need for me to waste my time with your pathetic souls." And he says, "Come, Torgar. Let's go finish our collection." And he continues to just kind of walk past you all.
Can I try and sleight of hand the chain of souls out of its grasp?
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
As they pass, you reach out and you grab one of the lanterns off of one of the hooks of the chain. Neither one of them seem to notice.
Okay.
As they pass by, the Minotaur kind of haunches down. He says, "Come on, Archon. You've been having all the fun. Let me kill one of them at least." And Archon, the Dragonborn, stops and he says, "Very well, Torgar. If you can catch the rabbit, he's yours for dinner." And
Sylvie steps in front of Krayley.
Oh my gosh, Sylvie.
the Minotaur kind of does like picks one of his hooves back and lowers his horns down, and he goes to charge towards the two of you.
Oh no.
Um,
Do we have time to get an attack out or now?
You have time to dodge because he only rolled a 14 on his attack. As Krayley's steps in front of you, as Sylvie steps in front of you, Krayley, you see the big Minotaur as the Dragonborn steps aside, lowers his horns, and he charges at the two of you. What would you like to do?
Okay. I guess out of curiosity, are the other survivors, so to speak, within 10 feet of all of us? I assume yes, but
you take a quick glance around and you see that Lulu has sort of corralled them out of harm's way.
okay. Then I would like to try and grab onto Sylvie and use Thunderstep to try to dodge this.
You grab onto Sylvie's arms from behind, and thunderstep. The Minotaur flies past the space that the two of you were momentarily, briefly standing in, and the Dragonborn laughs out loud. Well, looks like you're not going to have dinner tonight, Toragar. Come on! And he pulls on the chains of the bull, and the two of them kind of start walking towards the beanstalk away from you. Sylvie,
Close, Sylvie. Oops, sorry.
what would you like to do? You guys can, out of character, you guys can instigate this into a full-blown fight. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just, with context, trying to make it apparent that would be bad. But you can do, and I appreciate you doing what your character would do, Sylvie.
Does he take any damage from that thunder step?
Yeah, you can roll the damage. You hear, well, what do you do, Sylvie? They both turn their backs on you and they continue to walk away. What would you like to do, Sylvie? There's this explosion of energy, and you're instantly teleported some distance away out of the charge of the Minotaur. You hear the Dragonborn with the withered arm, his chuckle ring out as he grabs onto the chains. All the lanterns with souls kind of jangling as he pulls on his companion, and they begin to kind of walk away from you towards the beanstalk and the bridges.
Oh God.
Don't.
Honestly,
It's not worth it.
I feel like
He has an artifact on him.
Yeah, I feel like Sylvie wants to instigate a fight, but she's also smarter than that, and she knows that she isn't gonna win that fight. So.
You see the two walk down the boulevard towards the bridges, and about halfway down, you see them sort of stop. Maybe they're about halfway towards the beanstalks, a good distance away from you all now, and you see them stop in front of another temple of some kind and enter it, and minute later you hear more of those horrible, painful screams as the souls are removed from innocent victims. Dolos,
Yes.
you it's kind of quiet in the cathedral. You spit on the temple or you spit on the statue of Torm. And what did you say when you spit? I never liked you anyways.
Yeah.
From behind you, you hear I was hoping eventually you might see the light, Dolos.
I have seen the lights.
And you turn,
Yes.
and you see Captain Lightheart standing there. Maybe 50 feet away from you. Comes out from behind one of the statues of Zariel. His voice, both of your voices are kind of, there's a bit of an echo in the long hall. His voice kind of echoes. He says, where are the others?
Well, I don't know if you noticed the giant beanstalk bridge, but I assumed they're safe. I'm just not quite sure where. I came here as fast as I could to find you and Ulder. I wanted to make sure you two were both safe. I saw the meteor hit and, well, I was worried.
Is that a lie?
I mean, yeah, no, it's not a lie. Because Delos isn't lying about his worriness for Ulder and Lightheart. He's just admitting the detail of he's also worried about killing Lightheart. You know, it's more of an admission.
Make an insight check.
Oh, that's never good. As they're talking, could Delos also shadow spell cast Detect Thought?
Sure.
Okay. Use one of his sorcery points and one of his own spell slots.
The surface thoughts of the creature. Captain Lightheart, with your insight check, you can tell that he's pretty banged up, like you and the rest of the group. It's apparent that him and Lightheart did get into some scraps along the way. At the moment, Captain's surface thoughts are wondering why you're separated from the rest of the group. And when he says, I thought you would eventually see the light, Dolos, you can tell he's also thinking that all this time, he's been a little unsure of you. You finally realize that, from your first encounter back in the barracks, that he's known you've always been lying to him a little bit. Lightheart says, what's it going to take for you, Dolos, to finally realize that You don't have to use people to get ahead. That you can use your
Oh,
skills for a higher purpose.
a higher purpose. Now that's right. That's the cowardly man who ran away from his general. The one who hid in the shadows for so long, just to come back and try and fail. I have done what I've done to get where I am, and every time I thought I had what I wanted, it was lost. And I'm doing what I do now to keep a hold of what I have so I don't lose it again.
You can see, you can see like a dull purple glow in Captain Lightheart's pupils. He's been like inching towards you slowly. He says, I'm reminded every waking moment, Dolos, of my choices. It is a heavy burden that I've carried for a long time. And I've been looking for a way to right my own wrongs.
I think you have a way.
You have a what?
You can let. I think you have a way. For Lightheart, there is a way for you to do what you have to do. Let's give yourself some rest. Sleep that you have needed for so long. As a man of eternal paranoia myself, I understand. I think you've done your work as best as you can. But I don't think you can get back the Zariel you once knew.
You may be right about that, but I still have to try. It's the only way that my burden will be free. That is the only time I will be able to rest. When I know that I've done everything I can to mend the promise that I broke so many years ago. And now, as all these people's lives teeter on the edge, even with the fear of failure bubbling up inside of me, this time I'm not going to turn my back on her.
Oh. It is as you wish then, Lighthearts.
Are you going to turn your back on your friends, Dolos?
No. I'm helping them. Protecting them.
wisdom save.
Yes. To 16. Imagine as Delos does that, he puts on the mask that was gifted to him
Ooh, nasty.
so long ago.
You guys are outside of the High Hall walls now. Archon and the Minotaur have sort of disappeared out of your sight. You go, or what would you like to do? Lulu has she kind of like ushered the survivors you've been dragging along with you off to the side of the church. Sylvie, you have you still have the lantern with the soul hovering in it, kind of tightly clutched in one hand.
Can I tell whose soul's inside of it?
Yes, but it would most likely be the priestess he just killed.
Okay. Do I have any, like, recollection from what I was told by Silvira? If I, like, open this lantern, will it release this soul to where it's supposed to go?
You take a closer look at the lantern, and you can see that it's been constructed in such a way that, you know, it has glass panes. It looks kind of like, I wouldn't say simple, but kind of a plain iron lantern. You know, you have an expectation of something that harbors a soul in it like this might be kind of zhuzhed up a little bit, but you know, it's kind of just like this simple, it's a plain looking lantern, and but you can't really see any way to open it.
Okay.
You can make an insight check.
Alright, I'll do that.
You remember in some of the information that Silvira had talked about, the souls being trapped in the soul coins, that destroying objects like this can free the souls, as well as casting a magic that could remove curses.
I think for right now she's just gonna put the lantern in her backpack.
Okay.
Until she can kind of, like, research more on it.
This interaction with Archon, the Dragonborn, and his Minotaur created some noise. And the thunderous sound of your little leap, Krayley, has drawn the attention of a small pack of hellhounds. As you guys are kind of getting yourselves back together to approach the opening of the high halls, we'll do this. We'll just use I hardly ever do this, but I didn't necessarily have this prepared, so we'll use a little blank battle map here. Standing in the mouth of the opening where the gates used to be and the walls are all smashed in to the courtyard of the high halls is a small pack of these hellish-looking dogs. You guys can see this map, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a little dark for Krayley, but I think.
What is your
Me too.
What's the...
oh, hold on. I can just turn off the
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why a blank map has dynamic lighting turned on, but
Okay, cool. Sorry,
Oh,
thank you.
there we go.
Doggy.
You hear Lulu say, "Stay behind me, citizens!" As these 3 dogs appear. Why don't you guys select your tokens and roll initiative?
What is that one? Okay.
Oh.
What is...
Mabathor, you're up.
Alright, yeah, so to start things off, he'll cast Bless on himself, Krayley and Sylvie.
Thank you.
And he'll move here, and that'll be his turn.
Let me do some there's kind of the streets, the temples here, some other houses. This is just the mouth into the courtyard. Rubble. My artistry is superb.
Truly wonderful.
Bless, move. Anything else, Mavathor?
No, that's it.
Okay. Krayley, you're up.
So I haven't tried this before. I'm not sure if it works this way, but I'm gonna try it. So Krayley has, since some time has passed, has put away the bow, so it would need to be reactivated for that fire damage. So he is choosing not to activate it right now.
Okay.
Instead, he is going to use one of his web arrows and launch it right here. Is that pinging correctly? Right there. That space between the two hellhounds. I was trying to double check the measurement here, but it looks like it's about a 20-foot cube, I think, of webbing, which makes it difficult terrain. And then at the start of their turn, something might happen, but 20 feet seems like a lot for a web arrow.
20 radius or just 20-foot cube?
It just says 20-foot cube, so
okay.
It just seems pretty big. Yeah.
Difficult terrain?
Yes, difficult terrain, and something will happen at the start of their turn. However, this is where I want to see if this would work. As a bonus action, I would like to activate the bow through Kando, is the activation word, and just fire a regular arrow at that same spot. Not necessarily on them, but at that spot.
I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yep, you fire your first arrow, and it explodes in a patch of webbing covering the two hounds. And you take a second arrow out and fire. You're just trying to ignite the webs, right?
Essentially, yes. And it says it would be 2d4 fire damage to any creature.
Sure. Make two attack rolls.
Oh, yes.
I know you're not necessarily firing at anything in particular, but it's more just to see if you roll a natural one.
Okay.
And
for sure.
fuck up a little bit. Yeah.
I am choosing not to use sharpshooter to
sure.
increase my chances. So that's the first attack, and then this is the second attack.
Your webs explode around the dogs, and you fire a second arrow, igniting the webbing with your second attack. You can roll the fire damage if you like.
Okay, sounds good. So
and you can make an insight check.
Why? Oh, sorry. Had it. There we go.
Okay.
And I will make an insight check. Okay. Ooh.
The web bursts into flames, and is there anything else you would like to do?
No, that'll be it.
Okay.
Got that.
The first hound bounds when the webs catch on fire, that just makes them go away, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially, yep. They take the damage at the start of their turn, sorry.
Okay, sure. The first hound bounds towards you all, barking as it rushes forward at pretty good speed, and and breathes a cone of flame at you, Mavathor, and you, Sylvie. You guys need to make dex saving throws. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Okay, Sylvie, you take half of 18 damage, and you take half of 18 damage halved, Mavathor.
4.
Yeah, so Sylvie, you take 9, and Mavathor, you take 4 fire damage, as one of the hounds blows a cone of flame past the two of you. The other hellhound bounds over to this side and does a cone in the other direction. Both of you need to make dex saves again. So Sylvie, you take 8, and you take 4 again, Mavathor. Fire damage. Lulu. Is sort of hovering in a protective circle at the moment around the survivors. Seeing the two dogs blow gouts of flames at you guys, she says, "Oh, okay, maybe it's time to back up a little bit." And she starts to kind of like push the survivors away from you guys, out of the range of any more cones that might come up in future rounds. And Sylvie, you're up.
Okay, Sylvie is gonna cast Earth Tremor at first level.
Does that knock them prone or no?
They have to do a DC 14 dex save.
Okay. Is it just single target? 10 feet, so you can get one of them?
I think it's like... Yeah, all creatures in a 10-foot, like, radius.
Okay.
So yeah, just the one, I think.
The ground trembles around one of the hounds. Is there anything else that you would like to do? Does that become difficult terrain as well?
If it's loose earth or stone, then yes.
Okay. The dog does not fall prone or anything.
Okay. Then she's gonna take her last health potion.
44 plus 4.
Okay.
Mavathor.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. As a bonus action, he's going to cast Spiritual Weapon here. As that bonus action, I'll attack with it.
Uh, 17 hits.
And with that, he'll use his feature to cause it to become a Divine Smite as well.
Nice.
Does it follow the same thing as Paladin Divine Smite, where you use the spell slot?
No, you can just use it 3 times per long rest.
Okay, and how much additional damage does that?
Divine Smite is 2d8, right?
Yes, and if it's a fiend, it's an extra d8, so...
Ooh. This happens to be a fiend.
So, 11 force and 11 radiant, I guess.
Nice. 22. You conjure your spiritual weapon. A little extra magic flows through your little hovering rod of Asmodeus and gives the Hellhound a good whack.
Yep. And as his action, he'll cast Sacred Flame on this one. So DC 15 dex save.
11, fail.
Takes 12 radiant
12
damage.
more radiant. Nice. I shouldn't have deleted that other hound. I was just trying to account for your guys' current HP levels a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be the end of his turn.
All right. Krayley.
Krayley's going to notch a magical arrow with what he has left and use his first action to attack twice on the Hellhound next to Sylvie. Make sure everything checked here. I am going to do the sharpshooter on those.
Just out of curiosity, Mavathor, how many spell slots do you have left currently?
I currently have, check real quick. 2 first level and 1 third level.
You first and 1/3. Okay, cool. Krayley, do you fire at the one that Mavathor was attacking?
I was aiming for the one next to Sylvie.
Oh, okay. Your first attack hits. Your second attack misses. So you fire your bow for 22 damage. Make an insight check.
Okay, sounds good.
You can tell with your first shot there, kind of combined with the explosion of webbing that you did, that these creatures are immune to fire damage.
All right.
Your second arrow goes flying past the hound, and the hound takes in another deep breath. There's kind of like sparks and heat forming in the back of its throat, and it shoots another breath of flame out, enveloping you, Sylvie, and you, Mavathor. Why don't you both make dex saves again for me?
Nice.
So you take 10 fire damage, Sylvie, and Mavathor, you take 5. The other hound will just try and bite you, Sylvie. Missing. It's, you can see the same. It's trying to gather more kind of hot air in the back of its throat, and it kind of sputters out, and then it goes to kind of chomp at you, but you easily just kind of move away from its sharp fangs, and then you're up. You guys hear Lulu say, something smells kind of funny, guys. And from one of the structures nearby, there's like a pounding on a closed door. Sylvie, what would you like to do?
Alright, we're just gonna do our double dagger. Same thing. Thing in the offhand.
Your first attack misses, but your second dagger comes around, hitting the hound for its...
Still a bless.
Oh yeah, bless. Roll a d4. So both attacks hit. 7, 8, 9, 10. 13 total damage. You go with 2 swift strikes at the hound, piercing it twice. Anything else?
No, that's my turn.
Okay. Mavathor, you're up.
Alright, well, I'll start off with a spiritual weapon attack on the Hellhound.
With your bless, you strike it.
Or 6 force damage.
Okay.
And use Sacred Flame on it again.
Natural 20 for its save. You strike it once more with your spiritual weapon. Krayley?
Krayley's gonna go ahead and use a magical arrow and then a regular arrow for his action. So he'll start with the magical arrow here for the same one that is attacking Sylvie.
Okay.
So let me do that real quick. First arrow.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. And then second
actually,
one.
10, 22. That arrow, as you see the creature trying to draw in another hot breath, it's kind of got its mouth open as it's sucking in air, and you fire your arrow. It goes like right out the back of its head, and the dog whimpers as it kind of drops to the ground.
Perfect. Then I would like to turn my second attack on the other Hellhound. This one will be non-magical. Oof.
You have bless, so bless might help you.
So I think I have it baked in already.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes, I think that was even with bless.
Your second arrow, you turn to fire at the other creature, and your arrow just kind of goes right over the top of its head.
That's it.
It draws in, likely its final breath here. Mavathor and Sylvie, make dex saves for me.
Oh, snap.
Whoa.
Oh, snap.
You take 10 fire damage, Sylvie, and you take 5, Mavathor.
Okay.
Natural 20, we'll just make it 0. 0 fire damage.
Okay.
And Lulu says, guys, something's happening! And I know this is like a tiny little box here. It's actually like a big house. There's another pounding on the front doors of that structure near the high halls. You can see it's kind of actually like it's because it's so close to the high outer wall of the high halls. It's kind of a fairly nice, large home, and the door bursts open, and you see a humanoid kind of lumber a few steps out into the street, and at first you think they're like another survivor, but then you notice that they have this sort of hollow dead look in their eyes, and as they take another few lumbering steps forward, another 12 zombies flood out of the door into the streets in front of you all.
12 more survivors.
12 more survivors. Well, they were survivors, but they've... you gather that maybe they were a group of survivors
At one point.
trying to hide. But now they are undead.
Oh,
Well, shit. Mm. Oh my goodness.
God.
So they sort of spill
Oh
out
my god.
out of the house nearby. And
Decisions to make here.
Oh my goodness.
Sylvie, you're up.
Okay. Well, first of all, I am going to cast a first level healing word on myself.
Okay.
And then I am going to shoot an arrow at a magical arrow at the hellhound,
Okay.
hoping to
Yeah.
get him done and over with.
Go for it. Your arrow goes into the hound. It collapses in the streets there before the high halls as the undead are still spilling out of the home there.
And then I'm just gonna move.
You take a few steps back. Dolos,
Yes.
you know that fear has crept into Captain Lightheart. As the tension between the two of you has grown during this exchange in the empty hall here, among the stone pillars, most of which shaped to be in the visage of Zariel. The one that you're standing before still has your spit sort of rolling down the facade of Torm as Captain Lightheart has sort of closed the distance between the two of you. You see now these sort of taking steps backwards. And he says, with kind of a bit of a tremble in his voice, I can see that I've gravely misjudged you, Dolos. I gave you too much grace. And even though he's backing up, he slowly draws his longsword out of his sheath hanging off his shoulder and grips it in two hands. What would you like to do?
I think Dola says, for once we can agree, but as I said, you should get your rest and attempt to get into sleep.
Are you planning on attacking Captain Lightheart here?
If he falls asleep, yeah.
Oh, you're
I
casting...
mean, no, yeah, he is.
Oh, you're casting sleep on him.
Yeah, I'm casting sleep.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm casting sleep.
Okay, roll
He's
initiative. Roll
Trying to
initiative.
be strategic.
Roll initiative first.
Okay.
He might have an
Okay,
action.
okay.
He might have an action before you.
Okay.
Because you because you used your ability to entwine fear into Captain Lightheart here, I'll roll it with disadvantage for you. I don't know if he can beat a 25 anyways, unless he nat 20s, so...
Come on, Lightheart.
So 37. You see Captain Lightheart sort of take another few steps back. His back bumps into one of the pillars of Zariel. Her stone wings kind of cast a little shadow over him in the hall here, and he kind of slumps down onto his butt, and his head is kind of like lolling from one side to the other. He looks up at you, kind of with that purple glow in his eyes, and the glow kind of fades, and then his head drops down to his chest.
Dolos walks over to him, carries him over to the statue of Torn, lays him down, picks up his sword, and says, "Forgive me this well," as he beheads him, or attempts to.
You pick up Captain Lightheart's sword, and it's surprisingly light. And with one quick slash, you open Captain Lightheart's neck, and blood kind of flows down around, forming a pool around his body there in front of the statue of Torm. Your spit kind of rolls down to the lip of the stone statue and then like drips off onto his face as he's kind of laying there in front of the statue, bleeding out. You feel a rush of power, infernal power, flow through your body. Captain Lightheart's sword, the blade sort of darkens, and this hilt kind of was this straight, sort of simple piece of metal. It kind of twists into these gnarled points, and you are able to sort of re-roll your character into something you find more fitting for Dolos, if you'd like. And that is where we will end the session this week.